Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Okay, today we are
Waalaikumsalam.
in Jom Singgah uh, podcast with our president of Innovative University College. Okay, let me share a little bit about our president of Innovative University College, Puan Sawati binti Omar. Is our president of IUC or Innovative University College. She's provide the strategic leadership and overall direction for these institutions, oversee overall institutional governance, operation and policy alignment. She play an important role to ensure the academic quality, compliance and sustainability. Welcome to the stage today, Puan.
Thank
Apa
you.
kabar?
Khabar baik.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today our topic will be slightly high. We are talking about Malaysia Higher Education Plan that was launched a week ago by Prime Minister of Malaysia, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. As we know and aware that there is a 10th strategic shift has been highlighted in that particular education plan. So, Puan, you have spent more than 30 years in private higher education. How has the Malaysian higher education landscape changed from when you start until today?
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih kita punya pengacara Tuan Zairi. Um, okay, for the past many years I'm in the private higher education. Of course, the landscape of higher education to change significantly lah. Due to technology, due to the demand of the industry, due to the changes of the industry that AI especially currently. So because of this change, the landscape of education pun change. We cannot say that the education what we understand 20 years ago will be relevant for the coming education. So Alhamdulillah, when I entered private higher education more than 30 years ago, our role was very simple. So we actually talking about access. That is our main objective. We want to make sure all our qualified students, we graduated about 300 over 1,000 students every years for SPMs. So we must make sure all these students have a place in tertiary education. So our fight at that time is just to make sure all the students have access to higher education. That is as simple as that. So because at that time, public university not so many. We got a
Yeah.
few public university. Then at that time they can only absorb about 40,000 students. So we have about 300 students. Actually, more than 200 students qualified to enter higher education, but government can only provide about 40,000 seats. So the balance of the student, where they going to go? So, but Alhamdulillah, so private institution in I think 2010, the government of Malaysia allowed the existence of private higher education, and then we have Private Higher Education Act, and then this allow us to help the government to provide more access. So with our participation in this higher education landscape, we actually managed to provide uh, seats. That means we provide the access. So the accessibility to higher education now become very easy for the student, especially people who actually finish their SPM and all that. That the best part, today the landscape is totally different. So higher education, we're no longer talking about access. It's not talking about just go to higher education, then tomorrow you graduate, then the job is ready for you. It's no more about that. In fact, we a little bit not at current situation because now our education doesn't provide what the industry wants. So end up we have so many unemployed students that graduated from our system. So now the government's actually focusing on human capital, sustainability, values, employability, and national resilience. This is for me a very good direction moving forward, starting 2026 to 2035, to make our graduate relevant. And then furthermore, what excites me about the Malaysian Higher Education Blueprint 2020-2035 is that it finally acknowledges the evolution.
Yeah.
That means people cannot just say, that is not our mandate, this is not our objective, this is not what we are looking at. So we are continue offering program which is not what the industry wants. So now we are more like future ready. We are producing value driven graduate, humanity-centered graduate, which is not just degrees holders. So this is very important, reflects what many of us in private education have experienced on the ground for years.
Oh. It means that if we are comparing those days and today, the private institution is not meant to be as alternative options to the student. Correct. So therefore, why do you think that Malaysia really needs a new higher education blueprint, especially at this a new decades from 2026 to 2035?
First of all, whatever we do, the blueprint previous is already expired. Definitely, we need a new blueprint. It's already expired in 2025. I believe. So when we actually design the earlier blueprints, actually is scattered until 2025. I think somehow it's achieved its objective, inshallah. Yeah. So now we are talking about moving forward from 2025, 2026 onwards, what we want to do. Yeah. So I think I can answer a very simple way lah, yeah?
Yeah.
Because the worlds our graduates are entering is fundamentally different. Yeah, so if you're talking about if we want, why we're not just focusing or following the earlier blueprint, why we need to do a new blueprint. The most important things why we need to have new one, because the graduates it itself actually entering is fundamentally different.
I see.
They are not entering the world which is actually as what we know for the past 10 years ago, not even 5 years ago. So what they are entering now, fundamentally different. As simple as this, if your graduate going into a job application, not knowing how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, I believe they might not even have, the interview might be short only. Or if your student doesn't even know how to use TikTok, how to use Facebook,
Yeah.
how to do podcasts like what we are doing today.
Yeah.
I think that itself will say that your student actually study what actually been taught for the past many years, which is not more relevant for this current situation. Okay. So I think the thing that I would like to highlight is in regard to the blueprints, based on my understanding, the blueprint recognized three realities very clearly. The first one, academic disruption. Okay, this one everybody talk about it. Everybody talk about automation. Everybody talk about digitalization. Everybody talk about AI. Yet,
Correct.
in our curriculum, when you talk about study human resource, for example, still a very conventional human resource, not even element or system inside. So where your graduate being positioned in the market? Yeah. We talk about social pressure. Social pressure, we talk about cost of living. Do you imagine the student come to class on daily basis? That means they study first, then only go and get a job.
Yeah.
Do this type of education relevance or not? Now we talk about students are going out and get a job, going out after SPM, be a Grab person, be Grab driver, whatever it is. Even you said what their decision is wrong, but there is a reality. There is a social pressure because they need money.
Correct.
The cost of living are increasing. Their parents are nagging on them. So they need to find a fast solution for them. So they are choosing working instead of studying. Like we all last time, we can pause. We pause, then we go and study, finish study, we work. But not everyone can do that. So now the pressure been felt not only a small community of Malaysia, I think in the bigger scope of Malaysia. So the social pressure are actually pressuring the education system to change. So the student who actually working can also study. Because there's so many ways of delivery, kan. So that's why the changes of student-oriented into learner-oriented is so significant. So you are no more teaching students, they are learners. So that is very important. And number three, which I think the blueprint emphasize is the environmental urgency. Everybody talking about global warming, everybody talking about there's some changes in climate, which is certain places never had snow, suddenly had snow, certain
Yeah.
places
Yeah.
don't have rain, suddenly has rain.
The
So
changes
all
of the
this,
climate.
this is the climate change. So we cannot ignore the environmental urgency. So this way you want to taught them. You have to start in the university. So if you don't have this awareness in your curriculum, in the way you want to build your graduate, then end up, I think the whole nation will suffer. So these three fundamental elements in the blueprint, I totally agree, and I find it is about time. Yes,
Okay.
inshallah.
There is one interesting in the blueprint is about shift from student to learners, as what you
Yes,
mentioned earlier,
yes.
Puan. So, in your opinion, what does that mean in practice actually?
Okay, when you call a students, it's always one-way communication. Yeah, when we talk, you are a student, you come into the class, you sit in front of the lecturer or in front of your teacher, you just one-way communication, you absorb, you listen, you actually put it back into the exam. Yeah? But when you sort, then the education like stop when you finish your degree. For example, when you graduated, you finish your degree, you go graduated, you go convocation. That's it. Your education journey is over.
I
Then it's
see.
come out as a now you go into career. That
Yeah.
means you build your career. You start go into working life. But in reality, you cannot stop learn.
Yep.
You cannot stop go and find new knowledge. You cannot stop. That's why when you change the ideas of student oriented into learners oriented, you are telling people you are supporting lifelong learning. Even you already in the industry, already working maybe 5, 10 years, but you cannot stop. Continue learn because definitely new thing, new technology, new AI. That's why sometimes people in the working environment you find so difficult. Why these people don't want to learn a new thing? Can because everything changed so fast. You
Yeah.
cannot expect last time, okay, when your boss asking, can you give me reports? Can you analyze staff performance report? I wanted the report. Then you can tell your boss, okay, boss, you give me 1 month, I produce you the report. But this time, if you tell your boss, I want to produce the report within a month, I think your boss give you warning letter, go and find somewhere
Yeah.
else because we got meaning in the
Mm-hmm.
AI world. You produce report within a minute,
Yeah.
can. So
Agreed.
this knowledge, if people not acquire, they are no more relevant for industry. Then you can't compete. Yeah. So this is the thing about learners. So learners is about supporting lifelong learning, which I believe is so important. Then the education provider, like higher education provider, private or government, must support online learning, ODL, must support uh, uh, so many ways of delivery your program. So it doesn't have to be classroom based all the time. Yes.
So benarlah kata apa tu Rasulullah nuntutlah ilmu sampai ke liang lahat. Okay.
Yes.
So kalau it's against that if we go through the blueprint of the national higher education that recently launched, we will see that the blueprint talks a lot about employability and future readiness. Are this the same thing pun?
Actually, they are maybe similar, but they are not the same. Yeah, when you talk about employability and you talk about future readiness, just a simple logic. When we talk about employability, we talk about today. Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about when I graduate on 2026, what is the job ready for me? What is relevant for me? Even that also we didn't comply. For example, I'm teaching student IT, for example. And then we are still stage student about C++, C programming. Are these really relevant? Can even for today employability? I don't think this is even relevant, but why the curriculum is never changed? Yeah, so this is a question we ask. So the employability is about today, but that itself, the education that we provide for the 3 years that the student have journeyed with us, they graduated, they find it that the education that they go through is not even relevant for employability. All right, but when you talk about future education, future readiness, what is going to happen in 5 years next down the line?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're talking about what is a 5 years job availability for us, so when you talk about future readiness, do the graduate ready for this? Do the graduates, that the people who actually graduate, able to actually be still relevant for the future changes due to AI, due to technology? For certain position, they no more relevant. Maybe they no more exist.
Correct.
Yeah, but do the people ready for this? So that's why when people said about future readiness, we try to develop a graduates which understand the changes, accept the changes, and continue improve their learning. It's not just stop at 120 credits, but go beyond that. We call it beyond graduation,
Right.
beyond convocation. So that's the difference. So
Yeah.
there's not really not the same. It's the same, but it's similar, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it looks like people will say that lebih kurang saja, but in fact it's two different things that been should look at two different angles. Ya, Puan?
Yes, two different
Okay,
angles.
so my next question is about where do you see a private higher education institution fit into this national plan actually?
Okay. Um, when we exist last time, we always been considered as a peripheral existence. That means we exist to complement the government institution. But today, we have to be seen as a partners. You cannot see us as a complements to whatever the government's doing, because I think in private higher education, first we can do things faster. We don't have so much of bureaucracy. We can change things just immediate. So I think we can actually adapt and adopt to the changes faster than the government university. And then for that, we should be looking us as a partners in this. Yeah, in strategic partners, as a strategic partners for our national plan. Yeah. So we have to recognize the system expansion. For example, like now, which is I consider very good move by the MQA, saying that if the students study ODL, they doesn't have to leave their country. This is, we consider it system expansion, which is very good. Yeah. And then we also need to have a flexible learning. We have to actually encourage flexible learning. It's not everybody can live their life, and suddenly just put a pause and come and study. So we must have flexible learning. So and then we also must acknowledge the TVET growth, the growth in the requirement of vocational education, experiential learning, work-based learning. So this is a very important direction in education. Yeah. So I think why we should be a strategic partner, because we actually can pilot new program faster, we respond to the policy faster, and then we can quickly make the changes, we can adapt and adopt to industry requirement faster, we can change our curriculum, and all the the design of our curriculum, we can change it overnight. So I think we should be a strategic partners instead of just a complement the existence of government
Yeah.
university.
Okay. As we further details on that blueprint, ya, Puan, we basically seen that the blueprint emphasized values and humanity, comparing to the previous blueprint that was launched. In your opinion, why is this important now?
I think in blueprint we emphasize on values and humanity. I think whether we like it or we don't like it, our kids, since they are young, I think age of 3 years, 4 years, they've been exposed to phone, to gadget, to all this technology as that young age. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course in the recent situation that the world facing COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
so we have been forced to go into these changes faster. So without being grounded by values and humanity, the technical intelligence will be very, very dangerous to the humanity itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you imagine, when the people, the person, have the ability to design AI system, which managing your funding, which managing your health record, which managing your funds, we influence the communities, because they are a new generation. So they have their own ideas, their own thinking. Then you don't want the people not being grounded by values and humanity. Because later, when they actually influence the public or community, or actually they manage the funding in the wrong ways, because they manage the
Yeah.
AI, they manage the technology, they manage the information. That
Mm-hmm.
is how the technology do this. So even we want to embark, or we want to actually support the technology change, but we have to ground it with values and humanity. Without that, all this will become a big disaster for us.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct. Okay, as we know that the new generation, as the Gen Z especially, lots of them, basically when they are the students, and recently reported that the UM student got mental health and so on.
Yeah.
We see that mental health is so highlighted as a major challenge in this blueprint. What is your view actually, point about this?
Okay, I think it's about time lah we address that, and then we cannot saying that it's not a problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
is it a problem? Yeah, um, I think recently I go through this one story. Um, this person actually having an issue of mental health, depression. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, in our human resource policy, depression is not sick. Yeah. So when you are not sick, how you want to apply medical leave?
Correct.
Can how you
Yeah.
want to go get a medical certificate? You cannot, because it's not a part of sick. So, if you tell people, oh, I have a, I have depression.
Mm.
Normally, what HR will give? HR will terminate you.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
betul?
That is
But
what happened.
yeah, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But if a mental has it been recognized as a sickness, kan,
Mm-hmm.
as a sickness, that you must be, if you got fever, people allow you to rest for 2 days. If you got cough, people allow you to take leave for 1 day. If you got stomach ache, you even
Yeah.
allowed to go and rest.
Mm-hmm.
But why people are not allowed to have a rest upon anxiety, depression? So jadi I think it's about time that we address this, because the mental health actually a very serious issue. So if you don't handle it properly, then how do you feel the people feel? They are already anxiety, they're already in the depression mode. So
Mm-hmm.
when they tell the people they are in depression, they got termination letter. How
Yeah.
do you think they feel? You are putting them in the very, I think in a very unethical
Yeah.
situation, like
Correct.
can I
Correct.
say
Yeah.
that? Yeah. So I think by addressing the mental health, um, we addressing the right issue, because believe me, for the student, issue of financial give you so stressful,
Correct.
isn't it? And then performance anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely your friends got A, you cannot score, you got scolded by the parents, and then everything is circulated around money. So it would create some anxiety issues. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I think a mental healthy learner is more likely to succeed academically, professionally, and personally. So I believe this is about time we address it seriously in our education
I
system.
see. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. We come back to the environments of Innovative University College itself, Puan. How does the IUC or Innovative University College align with the 2026-2035 blueprint, actually?
Okay. how we align.
Ah.
Okay. Whether we want it or we don't want it, we are a business entity.
Yeah.
So if you want to do business, you must be relevant. If you
Correct.
are not relevant, nobody want to
Yeah,
come to you,
agree.
definitely. So whether we like it or we don't like it, innovative have to be aligned with this blueprint. And then, so Alhamdulillah, so we already focus on a few things which is aligned with this blueprint since I think a few years back. We already do it like lifelong and work-based learning. I think we believe we are kind of
Yeah.
champion in work-based
Yeah.
learning. Yeah, industry embedded program. Yeah, we are doing it. Value-driven education. We add more value. Students study this. We give another value like AI together with whatever their certification. Flexible pathway is what we are doing. Yeah, and then we're also doing strong governance quality assurance to make sure all is actually grounded, whatever we are doing. So in many ways, this blueprint affirms that what we have been building is in the right direction. So somehow I think we already aligned with it for the past many years. Yeah,
Means that IUC actually has go beyond the blueprints before or prior the blueprint
yeah.
has been announced. Okay, we have a final questions. Finally, what is your finally what message would you like to leave with the parents, student, as
All right.
well as the policymaker out there?
All right, to the student, the parents, and also the policymaker out there, Alhamdulillah, thank you very much for this time. So I just want to highlight this again. Education is no longer about choosing the best university. Yeah, it's no more. Yeah, it's about choosing the right learning pathway. If you want to do aviation, find the best school for aviation. You want to become a cook, find the best school for cook because you need to choose the right learning pathway. All right. So to parents out there, yeah, support lifelong learning, not just degree. Don't just feel like, oh, my kids having graduates from university, then I am actually done. No, support lifelong learning. It's more important now than ever. And then to students, invest in adaptability, values, and purpose. Yeah, do something that make you versatile. Do something that you multitasker, that make you can do many more things. Don't focus on something that make you just good at one things. You have to do something that make you good at many things. All right, and then to policymaker, Alhamdulillah, continue empowering institutions like us to innovate responsibly. So if we align policy, institution, industry, and learners, Malaysia higher education system can truly become globally respected and socially impactful. Inshallah, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Puan, for the sharing for today. I think we have come up to the end of our sessions. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to see you all again in next session. Thank you.